And it goes a little something like.
Hey guys, I'm Kent and welcome back to my channel. I've got the XSR900 on the lift and I'm going to be doing some suspension modifications. So I've already made some adjustments to the stock suspension, both in the front and the rear. I've actually put the preload all the way down. I'm a pretty light rider at 145 pounds. And while the front suspension seems okay, the rear suspension is still way too stiff. On the rear sag, you're supposed to have somewhere between 25 to 40 millimeters of sag. 30 is supposed to kind of be that sweet spot for street riding. When I checked it out for this bike, I'm getting less than 15 millimeters of sag. So I'm always sitting at the very top of that shock, and just the slightest bump has me jumping around. And I really need to make an adjustment to make this bike more rideable for me. So I picked up a new spring from K-Tech. This is designed for riders that are 145 to 175 pounds, which is perfect for me because that's 145 pounds when I have almost no gear. And then if I do have full gear, I get closer to the top end of that weight category. I ordered this directly from K-Tech and I'll put a link in the description below. One of the other cool things about this is that it has this awesome red color that will go very well with the rest of the color scheme on the bike. Otherwise, the rest of it's black and looks much better than the standard shock. I know one of the questions people are going to ask are, why didn't you go with Öhlins? And obviously Öhlins makes fantastic products. I've got Öhlins products on other bikes. For this bike though, and I know this sounds kind of superficial, but I don't want it to be yellow. I wish Öhlins made shocks that come in different colors. I've heard great things about K-Tech. This shock has a lot of adjustability. And again, since the spring rate is designed for a rider my weight, I'm expecting to get a much more rideable bike once I get this installed. So I've got the bike here on the lift. I don't actually need to raise it up. I'm leaving it on the ground, but I like the fact that it has the front shock that captures the front wheel, but can still rotate, so I can jack the bike up, but still help prevent it from tipping over. And then I have the swing arm stand holding the bike up a little bit. I'm going to, though, have to get a jack underneath the bike. I don't know if I'm going to try to jack directly against the exhaust or somewhere else to raise it up to take the weight off of the swing arm so that I can get the shock out. The front mounting point looks like it can be accessed through these little holes in the side of the frame. The rear mounting point, however, looks like I can't get a tool in there, so I may have to take off the dog bones to get it up, or if I jack it up high enough, it may give me enough space to access that bolt. So I'll need to figure that out, but I'm hoping this is a relatively straightforward procedure. I already took off my rear hugger just because it's carbon fiber and I don't want to risk scratching it up as I'm trying to get the shock out. Once I'm able to access those two bolts, it should be a matter of just pulling out the old shock and popping in the new one. All right, so you can see the nut in there through the frame. I don't think it's focusing correctly, but you can see what I'm highlighting with the flashlight. All right, so I've got the nut off. Now I'm going to jack up the bike just a bit to take some pressure off the shock, and then I should be able to get that bolt out. All right, maybe less than ideal, but I decided instead of trying to take the whole exhaust system off, since there's a nice flat spot underneath this titanium Akrapovic system, I just have a piece of MDF here supporting as much of the surface area as possible, and then I have my floor jack. So I jacked it up so that it's just barely sitting off of the rear stands, which should allow me to get this top bolt out, and then should allow me to hopefully get to a position where I can get access to this rear bolt. Okay, so I was able to knock the bolt out. It's still barely sitting there so that hopefully I can just push it back, but the spring itself is free. Now I need to get access to the bolt and nut that's down here that's currently housed inside of the rear swing arm. So I'm going to either raise the jack or lower the jack. Let's see, hopefully one of those two actions will get me better access to that. I now have access to this nut and the bolt on the other side. All right, that's the nut and the washer. All right, and the bolt removed. Now I'm going to jack it back up and hopefully be able to just slip the shock out. And it is good that I removed my hugger just because this is kind of bumping around a little bit. All right, stock shock out. That was actually really painless. So here are the two shocks side by side. The length is the same. The diameter of the coils on the K-Tech are slightly more narrow than the standard shock, but there are more coils on the K-Tech. There's also more adjustability where you can make preload adjustments both on the top and the bottom. The kit comes with a tool. I'm going to leave everything stock settings for now, and I'll make adjustments as I start riding it. All right, so I'm going to have to raise it again to be able to get access to the bolt hole. Nope, I'm supposed to lower it to get access to the bolt hole. Both the bottom and top bolt torque to 32 foot-pounds. All right, so now that I have the bottom bolt in, I'm going to raise the suspension until I get the top shock aligned, and then should be able to cinch down that bolt. All right, so I just have this metal rod in here helping guide the bolt back through. And I think I've got it lined up correctly. It's just a matter of raising and lowering the jack until things line up. So I just chased that through from the other side, and I think that's good. Get the washer and nut. So that's snug. Let me torque this to 32. And I think it was that simple. I was actually expecting this to be a very involved exercise. I saw some other videos where people were removing tanks and taking off dog bones, but as long as you have a swing arm stand and a jack, it's just a matter of lifting it up and down to get access to the different bolts that you need to, taking those two nuts off, removing the bolts, taking off the old shock, putting the new one on, and in reverse order, getting everything back together. All right, let's see what kind of sag we're getting with the stock settings. All right, so that actually had me very close to the 30 millimeters. It looked like it was maybe 25, 26 millimeters of sag. So I'm gonna make a slight adjustment to the preload and see if I can get it spot on to 30. So to adjust the preload, that's this ring here. You need to use a 3 millimeter Allen key to loosen the Allen screw so that you can use the tool to spin it. And then for rebound adjustment, that's this dowel here. There's supposed to be 16 clicks. I'm leaving it exactly where it is. I'll mess with the rebound later. So that got me just over 30 millimeters of sag. I think I'm going to back it off just a little bit since I'm wearing no gear at all right now. I also am able to touch a little bit better because I now have an extra close to ½ an inch of sag so that the position of my feet are a little better too. I'm excited about having a little bit of additional control in that aspect as well. But again, the biggest thing is the comfort and feel of the ride. I have some higher end suspension on one of my Groms. My Kawasaki actually has felt great with the stock suspension, but after I put on the Racing Bros front and rear suspension on my 22 Grom, I realized how much a difference suspension can make, and really excited to try this out now that I've got suspension that's rated for my weight. I'll have a follow-up after I do some riding on this bike and some additional adjustments as I really dial it in. So thank you everybody for watching. I do have more mods for this bike. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.